The number one question I get asked is, Andy, what do I make and sell on my CNC? And after hearing how much these videos have been helping you, here is another one. I picture this video. This is the scenario I picture when I'm doing these videos. And it's, you came to me, came to my office and said, Andy, I don't know what to make and sell on my CNC. We sit down together, we go through the internet for inspiration, and we break projects down. And we talk through on how we would build it and the strategy to sell it. So if you like this video, let me know down in the comments below, because we know that the people that don't like it will be sure to let me know. So I want to hear if you like this or not and what your favorite project is at the end of the video. One more thing before we get into these 5 projects, and that is I just want to let you know that this is the last chance to get my favorite projects for 2024. The guide that I made back in the spring, this is the last video you're going to be able to get it. And the reason is because I'm working on the 2025 version of that same document. So if you want more inspiration, more project inspiration on how to make them, how to sell them, I've got my favorite 10 projects from 2024 listed in the description below. All right, let's get into this video. Forgive my voice. I'm dealing with a little bit of a cold, but I want to make this video for you. So let's get started. Number 1 on this list are these Christmas tree candle holders. So I thought this was unique. Obviously, Christmas is coming up, and it's not, I've seen people just make these Christmas trees before as like a piece of decor, but why not put a tea light in them? And it reflects, casts a shadow on the wall. I'm really into casting shadows. It just kind of sets a mood. It really does. So I really like these. Really easy to make on the CNC. Let's break this down. All right, so first I would make this in 2 pieces here. I would cut the tree as 1 piece, and then I would cut the base, right? The base is pretty easy. It's just a block with a pocket in it, the same size as a tea light. And you don't have to use a candle necessarily here. You could use a real candle. You could use a battery-operated candle as well. But the base had the pocket, and then I would create another pocket for the base of the tree to fit in. And a really cool idea as I was browsing through this, inspiration, an idea that I had was you could make several, let's make several inserts. So not just a tree. What if you did a couple other inserts? And that way maybe they could have this out year round. Or you could just stay with a Christmas theme and do maybe a Christmas tree, a star, an elf, Santa, something like that. But with the CNC, with the power of the CNC, we can make intricate shapes. And so I thought that could be a really easy way to make this a more substantial product. And then, yeah, the other option is to leave it out year round. So maybe you included 6 holiday inserts and they just changed them out, left it out year round on their mantle and changed them out as they went through. So a lot of options here. And one thing I need to note before I get into this, if you haven't watched one of these videos before, this isn't stealing people's ideas. This is simply gathering inspiration around us, and how can we iterate and how can we make it ours, right? I always talk about different sizes, different shapes, different woods, different designs. Taking a concept and making it ours, making it better is what we're looking to do here. So we're looking for inspiration. We're not looking to copy people. I know this is kind of a side note, but I've worked with some major corporations, and let me tell you what they do. I've seen their spreadsheets. I've been sent their spreadsheets from major businesses of, hey, can you make these things? And you know what they do? Not saying it's right, not saying you should do that, but they literally go and snip and copy and paste things off the internet that they want in their store. So everybody's looking for inspiration, and that's just the way it is. So things that catch your eye, make it your own. But I just want to let you know that example of people that are doing millions of dollars a year are gathering inspiration from other people. So you can too. Totally. You don't need to come up with these blue ocean ideas every time. All right, so that's how I'd make it. Really simple build, really simple materials. How do we sell it? I think this would be a great craft fair, Christmas craft fair product. And, you know, as people are looking for decor. Now, the thing with putting out, like selling seasonal decor, is you have to have it out sooner than you think you do. Because people need to have time, one, to buy it from you, take it home, set it up. And they want it to be out a while. That's why I like the seasonal idea Like, oh, I just don't use this for Christmas. I can use this year round. That's really powerful. You know, I can get it out on Easter and Thanksgiving and 4th of July and just change it up, change the design up throughout the year. All right, let's get the pricing. Now, keep in mind, every market is different. And I always teach to price to the market. And I mean, when I say market, not individual craft markets, I'm talking about like your regional geographical area, the area you're in. That really makes a difference. Something like this is going to sell different here than it is in California. That's just the reality of it. This may seem low to you, may seem high to you, adjust accordingly. But I think for this, I would have less than $5 into this product to make this product. I think you could sell this for $25 to $30 as is, just with a Christmas tree. And I think you go all the way up to $50 or $60 if you add that seasonal. If someone can have it out year round, I think that really, really adds a lot of value to it for not a lot of cost. Number 2 project are these cribbage boards. Now, these are actually laser cut. You could do these with CNC as well. But with laser cut, you're able to get some of these more intricate designs. And you know what I found really interesting about this is I've got some friends who are really, they're going to watch this video, and they sell cribbage boards. And you're going to hear about their story more in an upcoming video. But regardless, what I like about this design is that it's the same outside design, and one, they're two-tone. I think that looks really, really good. The two-tone looks really good. And they have just a simple shape in the middle that just, it adds, so you have cribbage, right? And cribbage is really big in the north of the United States and Canada, particularly the Northeast. It's a passion of theirs. So I think it's cool adding a design like this to them. And they have this has a lot of them, and you actually can customize the pegs. That's kind of cool. And I recognize this store as well and who this is. I just saw this, but regardless, these pegs look really, really cool. I think that's a good idea. They do a great job with these. So since these are laser cut, let's go over how I would make them with a laser. And that is, you cut your base. It's made in layers. You cut your bottom base. You're going to cut your outside 2-track and cut the inside out. And then you're going to cut your walnut in that inside diameter shape, and then cut your fish or design, whatever else, into it. So this is literally 2 layers of 1/8" plywood. Or you could make them you could use plywood or 1/8" hardwood, which would be a little bit harder, but it would look really good. These look really good. Now, if you want to make these with a CNC, it's all done with an 1/8" downcut bit, and you can get the peg holes, and you can cut the design. You can cut everything with an 1/8" downcut bit on a CNC and make the same thing. All right, so you may be wondering, well, I don't even know what cribbage is. I never played cribbage. Here's the thing. Why these sell? They sell because there's a strong emotional attachment to this in certain people, in a demographic. And people grew up playing this game, and this is true for any game. You just have to match it to the audience. I teach all the time. I teach it here. I teach it in my course. I teach it everywhere, that you have to match your product to your customer. And I think it can be a big daunting thing. Like, how do I know what people want? Well, that's part of the game and part of the fun of it to figure that out. But that's just a simple way of saying, find your niche. Find a niche and make a product that people care about. It's as simple as that. And so cribbage is this, like I said, in the Northeast of the United States, in Canada, southern Canada, like the border of the United States and Canada, cribbage is really popular and has been. It creates that nostalgia feel for people. All right, so for price, it looks like they have 45 on these. I think that's accurate. These look smaller based on the hand size. These probably look like 6-inch boards, maybe 6x4 or 8x4, something like that. And I think that, around $40 to $50 is an accurate price for something like this. And then material cost depends what you made them out of, obviously. But as they're made right now, looks like out of an ash and a walnut, higher end wood. Let's say with waste, let's say you had $10, because plus you have pegs. time, let's say $10 into them. So there's definitely some room for profit there. All right, number 3 product inspiration are these Dinosaur wall hooks. So these are cool. I have a son, and I pictured these hanging up in his room. You know, if you had a dinosaur theme, I think those are really neat. They're just hanging hooks. You can hang clothes, you can hang whatever on them. All right, so how would we make these? Well, we're going to cut out the shape with a 1/4 inch downcut bit. And these are made out of oak, which I think a hardwood is a great play here. Oak, you could do walnut, you could do maple, anything like that, just kind of the vibe you were going for. But this goes well here. I'm wondering if they use like a Sharpie. I don't know how they're painting that eye on there. So they're attached to the wall by this little threaded insert, which is really simple. So you have a circle with a threaded insert that's going to attach to the back of the wall of the dinosaur. And then you have these wall anchors with threaded bolts, threaded rod that thread into the insert. So I think that's a really easy way to do that. So I had a couple ideas on how to make these a little bit different. One, I think you could change the size. You could make them bigger, and they all 4 don't have to be the same size. So I think that could be unique. And maybe you could hang more on them then. I don't know. The other thing was different materials, but also I think you could do even other things in dinosaurs, right? Like you don't have to stop at dinosaurs. There's tons of themes out there. My son is into tractors and trucks and all that. So that would be a really cool idea. I think these will sell well because people spend a lot of money on kids, grandparents, aunts and uncles. This is a very giftable thing, and someone isn't going to buy this for themselves. So again, digging into that emotional connection, these purchases are easy, justifiable purchases. Like I'm going to buy this for my son, or I'm going to buy this, I'm not buying it for myself. Decking out nurseries is a really big thing. People spend a lot of money decorating, especially their first child. Sorry if you're the second child, but decorating nurseries. You could also extrapolate this idea even out further and do different areas of the house, do different items. You could do flowers. Something that'd be really cool that's popped in my head is you could do some 3D like relief carved flowers that people could hang in their pantry way. That's a really good idea. I think these will sell well online. They're easy to ship. They're unique, especially if you go into different shapes, sizes. You get good pictures. You can see they have good, clean pictures here, along with other decor and how they're in use, how they're packaged. They did a good job with the packaging here, but a lot of room to iterate and make better. So price, obviously you're not going to have a ton of material, a ton of cost into these. These are really, really simple to make, and you could batch them out big time on your CNC. So material cost is going to be your highest cost, which is probably going to be a couple bucks a piece. Let's say you had, $3 plus the hardware, maybe $3 into them. And I think you can definitely sell them in a set. Don't sell them individually, because sell them in at least a set of 3. That's how our brain works. So I think a set of 3 or 4, I'm thinking set of 3, $30, maybe think about $10 a piece. And then as you go up, if you wanted to sell a set of 6 or something like that, you could, knock it down to $50. All right. Project number 4. This is going to be a little bit different. It's a scenario, but I'm doing this to show you how I think about this and how we need to think in order to come up with new product ideas that people want. That's the goal, right? So I am on Pinterest. I do a ton of research on Pinterest. There's tons of inspiration. If you're not using Pinterest to find inspiration, you're really, really missing out. This is something that Pinterest does, is they'll pick like a category. So like fall decor ideas for cozy season. And it says a drop in temperature means turning up the warm and cozy vibes. Welcome the season with these fall decor ideas. So what we can do is we don't need to look for individual projects or individual products. We can look at an entire decorated scene and then pick out a product within that scene. Like, hey, we can make that. What we're doing is we're helping someone accomplish that aesthetic rather than like just picking one product like we have been doing is kind of hard, because then you don't know where that's going to fit necessarily in aesthetic. So it might be hard to target certain people. It might be hard online to find keywords. It might be hard to title it. But here, you're giving a lot. We already have a lot of it done for us. And I'm just going through and looking for things that catch my eye that I can make. You know, you see a lot of candles. You see a lot of trays. You see a lot of pumpkins. I love the fall because of this, and making products for the fall. You see a lot of natural tones that play really, really well in natural wood. You know, we make things out of wood. So it's just it's a time where our products can really match up to the vibe and the look. So if you click on this one, you know, you can see these. They got these cutting boards back here. Everybody can make cutting boards. Everybody can make a cutting board. And I've been told wrong many times, been proven wrong. There's just a lot of people that sell cutting boards, but please do not try to sell cutting boards online without something very unique. What is going to make you stand apart from literally the other 50 pages on Etsy of cutting boards? So you got to do something unique. Okay, I've actually sold a lot of these in the past. These pedestals right here are always popular. These pedestals they add a dimension that people really like to elevate things. So these little pedestals are really easy to make, but often overlooked. All right, so the thing that's sticking out to me a lot on these are trays, right? Decor trays, center trays, like they're staging everything. Here's a tray, here's a tray, here's a tray, here's a tray, here's a tray. So a lot of trays. So I think, like, okay, let's look at this, for example, and take this a little bit further. So this little saucer here with this texture, I think that's really, really neat to make out of wood and create that texture on a centerpiece tray. So let's use that as number 4. And how do we make this, right? Well, first, we're going to make it out of, it's probably going to be a 2-sided carve, because we want that, we don't want it just laying flat on the table. We want some bowl, a little bit of bowl action on the bottom along with the top. And that's going to really elevate, it's kind of going to give it that shape. So what we'll do is carve the bottom flat with a little bit of relief on it. And then we will flip it over and do the texture on the front. So I really like textures and adding textures to wood. And I think this would be really, really good. Now, I think the way that you do this is a 3D carve. And it's, even though it's one path, I don't think we can get the bit to start in the middle of the tray and work out, and the thickness of the line get larger towards the outside. Because if you see that, it's thinner towards the inside. So in my mind, correct me if I'm wrong, let me know down in the comments if you are a Vectric wizard and you know the toolpath to use to do that. But I think this is the texture you set up as like a 3D model. And you have to, I would actually skip a 3D roughing toolpath, and I would just go to a 3D finishing toolpath with a tight step over. I think that's the way you get this look. But I think this would be really, really cool. And then I think too, you paint this white. I think that really sets it off. You could use it out of a natural wood, but I really like the whites here. So with those 3D toolpaths, you're just going to use a 1/4-inch ball nose bit, and then you're going to need a 1/4-inch downcut bit to cut the outside out at the end once you're all done. But yeah, one bit I think you can get this detail with a 1/4-inch ball nose bit. You don't need to go any smaller. I think this piece would be an absolute showstopper at a high-end craft fair, craft market. The one that I go to in December is an affluent area. There's a lot of money, and this would sell all day long there, and it would stop people just because they own big houses, and they're looking for a unique centerpiece to put on their countertop and their dinner table. You can't buy anything like this that isn't mass produced, right? So the fact that it's unique, I think, and local, I think it would sell well. Price, you're going to have more into this one. You're going to have more time into it. You're going to have more machining time into it. You're going to have more design time into it. You're going to have more material cost into it. So obviously the price, we're targeting the upper 5% of the market when it comes to home decor. So I think you get aggressive with this and you sell it for $100 or you sell it for $120. I think something like this that's unique, because you're going to have material costs. You're probably going to have $10 into it at the minimum, and then time. You're going to have more time into this one. Just machining time. It isn't just a simple profile toolpath. So I think $100 minimum, depending on the size as well. Maybe more. But like I said at the beginning, this was a little bit different. This was kind of how I explore and how, like, Etsy is serving up these curated groups of looks, of aesthetics, and we can find something that we can match and be like, okay, who would buy this? Who's looking for this aesthetic? And serving them up their a product from that aesthetic to help them accomplish it. All right, number 5 on our list are these turtle coasters. Now, everyone does coasters. Coasters are one of those things that's overdone. There's a lot of generic, especially laser engraved coasters out there. But one of the draws to coasters are their utilitarian product, where it has a specific use, where they use it every morning for their cup of coffee or on their end table. So it's part of something that we use on a regular basis. I thought this was a really cool idea, this is actually made 2 pieces. It's made out of walnut and it's made out of maple. And it's really, really simple to make. You could go a lot of different shapes. I'll get into that here in a second. But how you would make this one is just two pieces, 2 profile toolpaths to cut the outside shape. And then to get the inside turtle shape, I'm going to use a ball nose bit at a depth of like 1/8 of an inch. Just enough to get that cool design, which you could do any design you wanted to. But I really like the turtle shell look here. Now, this one actually is in 2 separate pieces, and it's a magnet that connects together. You could do this a couple separate. You could do the magnet technique, or you could glue them together still and still make 2. Let's say probably make them 3/8 of an inch thick. That would give you a 3/4 of an inch coaster. But maybe you can do a 1/4 inch each. You just have to play around with the dimensions. You don't want a really thick coaster, but it's totally doable here. So when I say this one is simple to make, it really is. Sanding those pieces, applying a polyurethane to them, and it looks like they have a little bit of a round over on the edge, which is easy enough to do either with a CNC or a trim router afterwards. But you could set up a profile toolpath with a point roundover bit would make this look really good as well. So how and why would something like this sell? Well, I think it has a use, a built-in use. It's utilitarian, but it also someone that loves turtles, or something that's looking for a unique gift for someone that likes turtles. But like I said earlier, you don't have to stop at turtles here. You could do a lot of different animal shapes, and you could build this out to 10, 20 different animal shapes where you make animal coasters, or you could run with that idea anywhere. But I really think for the animal lover, you think about, this is really a crossroads where someone loves maybe tea or coffee, and they love animals. And it's a really unique, cool idea. But you could also make this in different sizes. You could make smaller ones. You could make larger ones. Think about selling a set. You could make one for a coaster, but then you could make one for like a hot plate, one for a centerpiece decor. So you could sell a set of 3 turtles, using the turtle example here. You could sell of different sizes for different uses, but someone could have all of them together and they match maybe a kitchen table decor setup. So a lot of different options here. So something really important to the success in sales for an item like this. There are a million coasters listed on Etsy for sale. And it's really hard to make money selling coasters on Etsy. I don't recommend it. But I think you could sell this in your own shop online. I think you could sell this locally, craft markets, other boutiques, businesses, friends and family, things like that, Facebook. But selling this on Etsy, I don't think is a great, even this customized look. There's just so much competition. But I just want to make you aware, making something like this, throwing it up on Etsy and expecting it to do really, really well, there are better ways. Let me put it that way. On that note, let's talk about pricing. This particular coaster, I would price this at, $50 a set, $60 a set, $70 a set, somewhere in there. Material costs, you're going to have, let's say, $5 into material costs. You're going to be into this product for less than $10. And so the margin on here is significant. Even if it costs you a little bit more, even if that shrunk down where you had a little more into it, let's say wood costs a little bit more where you're at, and let's say you had $15 into it, I still think there is plenty of room. If you sold this for $40 or $50, there's still plenty of room for profit here, which is not true when it comes to basic coasters. By the time, when you're engraving coasters and whether you're buying blanks or making your own, engraving typical wood coasters you would see online, and you turn around and sell them for, $20 a set, you're not making any money. It's not even worth your time. So doing something more custom like this, that definitely ups the value because you're making it for a specific person. You're making it for someone that it's going to be an emotional decision that they're going to use this all the time, or it's going to be an emotional gift as far as I really want to get so-and-so this because I know they would love it. All right, so let me know down in the comments below, which project is your favorite? And did I get anything wrong that you disagree with? Let me know down in the comments below so we can all learn and share our opinions. This is definitely not a one-way street where I'm right all the time. These are just brainstorming ideas. Remember back to the beginning of the concept of this video, you sitting next to me discussing project ideas. So let me know down in the comments below. And if you want more inspiration, be sure to check out the guide I have below with 10 more projects for 2024, my favorite projects for 2024. There'll be a link down in the description. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.